Hey, how you doing, man?
We've been joined at the Telegraph today by Chuck the Iceman Liddell. Chuck, what are you doing in London?
I'm out here promoting my fight. I'm coming out here in June, back out in June to fight Rashad Evans at the O2 Arena.
Now, Rashad Evans beat one of our British guys, Michael Bisping, last November in Newark. Tell us, how exciting is it for UFC to be making huge inroads into the British MMA market?
Well, it's great to be growing everywhere. I mean, it's a great sport, and I think the more exposure we get at places, the bigger the sport will get. So, as long as we get the more keep pushing it in different venues and different places, it's going to keep getting bigger.
How do you respond to the fact that people in the past have tried? You know, you've been involved in this sport for 10 years. People have tried to depict it as human cockfighting in the past, and it's time to perhaps rid the sport of those kind of names that it's being called, because it really is a serious sport, making a lot of money and making a lot of people happy.
Yeah, it's a very complex sport, and it's got a lot of different elements to it to make it a great competition. I mean, it's it's got all the elements of boxing. It's got all the elements of wrestling. It's got all the elements of submission sports. You know, most of which are Olympic sports, and we put them all into one sport, and all of a sudden they're bad. It just didn't make sense. But I think people are seeing it as a sport now, and there are people that'll take the time to watch it and check it out and do their homework, and not just try to throw things at it.
You're a huge star in the United States. I mean, even in the half an hour we've been here at the Telegraph, we've had little huddles around you. You don't seem to be able to go anywhere today without people knowing who you are around the world. 10 years ago, you were a steward in a fluorescent coat at the Super Bowl, and this year you walk out into the middle to be greeted by however many 100,000 people because you're a huge name in the States. A lot of change in 10 years now.
A lot of change. Yeah, I went from being being a security guard there to being I was sitting 8th row and 40-yard line. Sitting there and hanging out with the guys after the game and talking to everybody, and I want them to have me come by and say hi. It's not the other way around. Well, obviously I want to say hi to them too, but we've come a long way in 10 years.
I mean, how do you deal with fame? Is it something that you're a very quiet guy away from the octagon, from your fighting arena? How do you deal with fame? Is it not something that bothers you at all? Are you just a regular guy?
Well, I'm a regular guy. It's a part of the sport. I get paid a lot to do what I love for a living, so that's nothing. People coming up and fans coming up, but these are the guys that allow me to do what I love for a living. And they. And sometimes it gets hard. It gets hard. People forget about where you're at and what you're doing. But you got to remember that all these guys they're fans, and they do support you, and they're excited. They're genuinely excited to see you. So for the most part, it's not too bad.
When you were growing up, did you always know that you would have some kind of life, some kind of career in sport?
Well, I'd always tried. That's always what I wanted. From when I was a kid, either baseball player or football player.
Were you good at those sports?
I was good. I was very good at those sports. I mean, I was always, captain of the football team, captain of the wrestling team, and went to college to play football and wrestle. So,
running back were you?
No, I played linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, I played linebacker. But
so what happened with that then? Did you get to a stage where?
Well, I just kind of decided I was better at wrestling than I was at football, and went on with wrestling, and then wrestling turned into kickboxing. Started kickboxing competitively, and that turned into fighting in the UFC. So it worked out for me. I mean, it was a long road and a long time getting there, but it worked out for me.
I mean, a lot of you are built like decathletes in athletics because there are nine martial arts, aren't there, in MMA?
There's a lot of martial arts in MMA. There's a lot of different things you have to know, and you have to be an all-around athlete. I even used to have boxers talk to me about it. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. You got to, we do our road work in the morning, and then we do the workout at night. You guys got to do, got to do your road work. You got to do the striking workout, and you got to do your wrestling workout. So you got to work it all in there. So we do a lot of different things, and there's a lot of stuff to learn. I think that's why some of the guys are allowed to are able to fight into the older years too.
I like the way that UFC wants you all to have a social responsibility as well, in terms of being role models in sport.
Yeah, I think that's great for the sport. I mean, you got to, whether you like it or not, you're in the sports and you're in the main eye. I mean, you are a role model for kids and kids coming up, and people look up to you. I used to say, well, I wanted to be in someone's role model, but you got no choice. You got there, and these people are looking up to you. So what you do, you gotta be careful. I got kids, so what you do coming up, you gotta realize it's gonna affect them too.
Now, I'm quite jealous of you today because apart from the fact that no one's going to push you out of the way when you're walking down the street, can we just pan down on Chuck's toes? Because I wish I had the guts to paint my toenails red on St. David's Day on the 1st of March. I understand this is for St. Patrick's Day, isn't it?
Patrick's Day, yeah. I got green for St. Patrick's Day, so.
And I suppose no one takes the mickey out of you, as we say in England, for having that done.
No, the worst thing I get from guys is, well, I guess you can, you can do it. So I don't get too much trouble for it.
Chuck, thank you very much, and we hope to see you back in the Telegraph offices soon.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.